Welcome in everyone to episode 104 of Instigate Success. Welcome back, everyone. Obviously, getting things back started up here. I apologize for the past few weeks. A little bit of work schedule stuff, new job, all that type of stuff. So we're getting things ramped back up. We also got a lot going on here as we are less than 1 month now until the season. Um, so got some news for that, or I guess some re going over the news, trying to get things caught back up. But it'll probably be a little bit of a shorter episode tonight, as I said, been a little busy with some stuff and just getting things back on track here. So if you follow us on the socials, or you've been on here in the Patreon and such. Apologies for that. We are getting all the stuff put back on schedule, so we will be more on track as what you guys are used to. So every Friday night, we'll be coming back here. Instigate Success Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Um, but yeah, we are. Let me see. Oh, you got the schedule on here somewhere. But we've got less than a month now. We are 10/10, October 10th. Um, so that is yeah, where's the schedule? I know I got it on here somewhere. There we go. So yeah, November 1st, our first game. That's going to be, remember, we have the road series to start things off. So we got a game against the Missouri Capitals and a game against the St. Louis Spirits on the November 1st and 2nd. Um, so a road trip to start off the season. And then we come home for our home opener, November 8th. So we're really looking forward to that. That'll be our home venue again this season. This is our first time with a repeat home venue, Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana. All of our home games, I believe, are going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday nights, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so plan ahead if you want to go to those games. Obviously, let's throw back to the season ticket package. You can go and get those season tickets. I think we still got that promo going just for a little bit longer. So go ahead and get those season tickets while you can at that discount rate. Pretty soon that's going to be going back to the regular rate, which is about 100 for that instead of the 50. But you get access to all the home games at Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana. And again, if you have not been to Best Choice Fieldhouse, it is a wonderful venue. You basically have a front row seat regardless of where you are in the venue. And if you want to sit courtside, obviously that's where you're going to be sitting. There's plenty of spots for you to choose. As always, we're always looking for those fans to come out and show out. And we want to have our own version of a Spike Lee. We'd love to have that. Um, so we look forward to seeing you all at the court. And I will be out there as much as I can for the games. Now that I think about it, if we go back to that schedule, November 8th, that's going to be an interesting one for me. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm actually going to we're shooting another film, or I'm shooting w- as in another film. Um, so that'll be interesting. It is in Illinois that we are supposed to film. So hopefully we get that film. The shots we need for that early enough in the day that I can still make it out, which I would assume so. 'Cause I think we are shooting outside. So interesting. I guess we'll figure that out. So if you see me at that game and look a little interesting, it might be because I came straight from the film shoot. So that'll be an interesting thing. Maybe I'll have to. Yeah, I'll definitely document that. I just got a new camera. I'll have to show it next time. It's put away right now. But I got a new camera, so that'll be a fun thing for us to use, and I'll be using that to document some stuff. It's a looks like an old school camera, and it has some like features where you can shoot on analog. Um, but it's interesting. We'll see how that turns out. I haven't really used it too much yet. Just got it the other day, so probably test it out around here. Take some videos of my car or whatever, and then try to fine tune that so I can use that for some documentation of travels, and hopefully we could do like some cool little clips with the team. I think we should be able to do that as well. But anyways, November 8th, that's a home opener, big game there against the Ohio Kings, a team we have not been able to defeat yet, but we've had some close games against some. Kings obviously led, um, by the um, dominant scorer, Cameron Mitchell, for the last few seasons we played against them. So that is definitely, something we're going to have to watch again as we go into that home opener. Then we got a game against the Louisville Pros, another familiar team. Then we go on the road against those two teams, the Kings and the Pros, a little bit later in the year there. Then we're over in December 13th and 14th. We got a home and away game. This is a pretty cool weekend. It's going to be our first time playing against the Shuckers as like a team in the ABA where they're in the standings and such. So this is going to be a pretty cool thing that we're going to do. And when we play the Shuckers, we'll have a home and a road game same weekend. So double header game, and we got some stuff in the works that might be a special event night, that we're working on. So a little bit of a teaser there. Once that's finalized and everything's official, we'll make full announcements, but a little bit of a teaser there. So keep an eye out for that game, and that weekend in general. That's gonna be a fun weekend. Obviously bragging rights for the state of Indiana on the line, and then I think a lot of games we've had, our preseason games always been against the Shuckers. We've got a lot of guys that have played for the Shuckers and the IBL in the past. So I think it'll be a really fun matchup, for those two games there. And then obviously we played them a little bit later in the season as well. But to wrap up the 2025 portion of the schedule, we got a home game against the Indiana Legends. Another team we've faced off against several times as we have. Over the past few years. Um, but always another good team to play against, and bragging rights on the line for that again for the state of Indiana. So that's what we got for the 2025 portion. So pretty even as far as home and away. We kind of have like the road trip to start off the things. Two away, then two home, two away, and then we got that home and away game weekend. Although really the Shockers are not that far, so it's not too much travel compared to some of those other games. Like the St. Louis weekend to start off is a bit of travel, and then obviously Ohio and Cincinnati, and then Louisville in Kentucky. So a little bit of travel there. But then we got the 2026 portion of the schedule. We've got a couple of home games to start that off. We'll begin against the Midwest Monsters, a team that we have not faced off yet, but we had been scheduled to face off against with last year. And then we've got the 17th and the 18th. That's the other home and away series with the Shuckers. So that'll be, again, a fun weekend. If you're looking for like a 2-for-1, weekend, if you can only go out for one weekend for the games, I think those Shucker weekends are going to be pretty fun to be a part of. Then you get the home and a road match. But obviously, any game that you can make it to at our home venue, Best Choice Fieldhouse, highly recommend to do so. But then we go on the road for, we have a road trip here. So we got the 24th and the 25th. You got a game against the Windy City Inferno, a team that we have not faced off against. However, they were a top 25 team last year. They were in our division last year. I believe with the realignment, we are back closer to our regular divisions, and I don't think they're in the division any longer. Well, we moved, I think, back to the red, and they stayed in the black. But have that for sure once we go in the season. But that'll be a really good matchup. Another team that I think is going to be somebody that we kind of try to compare ourselves to, see where we rank within, some of the upper echelon of the teams in the ABA. Obviously, we've played the Kings. We haven't defeated them yet. They've won all of those games. That's one of those ones that we're gonna keep an eye on and kind of see, like, because they're typically ranked. Um, Aces as well. That's the following week. They're also another team that we have seen ranked throughout the couple of seasons we've been. Then we come back home for a nice home stretch there. 4 home games kind of to wrap the season up before our final game. So we got the Spirit, the Bison, another new team, South Bend Bison. That'll be our first time playing them. A new team in general for the ABA this season. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress for them as they go throughout the season. Actually, now that I look at it, I just pulled up the ABA site, and we'll pull that up here in a minute and share that screen. But the ABA site, they have the power rankings up for the upcoming season, so we can take a look at that and see as far as the teams we got coming up. But yeah, so we got the game against the Bison there. Then we've got a home game against the Inferno. Game against the Capitals at home to round up our final home game. That's February 28th, 20, yeah, 28th. And then we've got the final road game there, final game of the season, regular season there, against South Bend Bison. Then we'll be into the playoffs, hopefully. Hopefully, this is the first year we're in the playoffs. We don't have to worry about the play-ins. I think that's always our target whenever we go into the season, is to get into the playoffs rather than play-ins. But we shall see how things go this year. And so that's our schedule coming up. I know we made this announcement a couple weeks back, but again, I apologize for getting behind on some stuff. But this should be, hopefully this week, is the player announcement. So we have that roster, and hopefully it is this week. It might be a little bit later in the week, but we'll be kicking that back off and getting those announcements put together. Again, I apologize for getting behind on some of that stuff. So we're gonna have those announcements coming up. If you don't remember, we'll go through the returning players real quick. And actually, there's one returning guy I think that I had not made the graphic for yet, so his will be put together as well. LB, number 30, young gun, guy that's kind of a lightning bolt high scorer for the Instigators. Provides a spark off of the bench from last season. You were really looking forward to seeing what he has for the Instigators this year, continuing to grow. One of our best guys off the bench last year, so we're really looking forward to that. You got Malcolm Martin returning, number 21. He was a second team All ABA player. And actually, we got another shout out for Malcolm here, just a few minutes. But one of the team leaders, team captains for the Instigators. Somebody we're really glad to have back on the roster for the upcoming season. Then we got Levante Nelson, the franchise record holder for most points in a game. So somebody that always has that prolific shooting, and when he gets hot, he gets really hot, especially from beyond the arc. But also somebody that filled in as kind of like a big man role, not necessarily saying he is a big man because he's more of a guard, but he could fill in as the big man role, kind of similar to how Chuck filled that in season one. One of our best offensive rebounders as well, Levante Nelson. Really excited to have all those guys back. Then we got Steve Rogers, Captain America, another young gun, up and coming player. We're really looking forward to seeing him on the court again this year. You kind of saw the leaps he took as the season progressed, and from what I've heard, his off season has been amazing. Really looking forward to see what he's got this year on the court. I also heard that he's got some tattoos, so he might have a sleeve. So we might have to get that picture updated as well. And then Damian Wilburn, number 2. is the last of the guys that we had made those graphics for. Prolific point guard for the Instigators. He had some crazy passes last season. If you watch the highlight reels, there's highlight tapes for all of those guys that we just announced here. That we had announced. You can watch that pretty much any of our social medias, as well as on our YouTube channel. But if you watch those highlight reels, you'll see some of those flashy passes we were talking about. And another guy that can get really hot from beyond the arc as well. So there's five of the guys that are going to be on that roster. The other returning player is Greg Hardiman, if I'm not mistaken. I think that is the one guy that I missed as far as returning players. So that's about half the roster there. And again, hopefully later this upcoming week, we'll have the roster coming back up for the announcements. But I said we are going to give Malcolm another shout out here in a minute. So let's go back to that. Back one more. He actually helped make our website. So we're going to have a new website that we're revealing here. So if you're a Patreon member, you've probably already seen this, but we'll give you a sneak peek here on the stream to see our new website. And actually, this website you can get as an app too. So it's going to be a web-based app. But Malcolm is, responsible for this. It looks wonderful. If you remember our previous website, it was the apexofsports.com, and that was more of like an Apex Athletic Collective site. This is an Instigator specific site. So we'll give you a sneak peek here. And again, if you're one of our Patreon members, thank you for being a Patreon member. And you got to probably see this ahead of time. So just a quick sneak peek of that homepage. We'll show that. So here is our homepage. See, this is an Instigator specific site. So you got the homepage there. You got the schedule here for our home games. So you can get your tickets just by clicking on that. Got those early bird season tickets still up for a little bit longer. You got some of our news. If you go on that, that's our Patreons. And then we've got the W. If you want some W, Jitterless Energy, 10% off. Use that code Apex Athletics at your checkout. Got our shop. You can go over there. Some of the highlight reels from our YouTube. Then obviously our Patreon link down here. Got the tabs over here for the schedule, team info, shop, and sponsors. But that is your sneak peek for the upcoming site. So Instigator specific site, really, really excited for that. I think, compared to what we had in the past, and we're going to have stats and all that type of stuff on there as well. But compared to what we have in the past, that is pretty cool to have just like an Instigator specific one, and one that, when you think about the Instigators, it's just the Instigators. I know some people may have been a little confused when they went to the site and they seen Apex. Obviously, that's Apex is the collective, the whole brand, with the Instigators being our basketball franchise. But let's jump over to, I said the ABA put up their power rankings. So let's jump over there. So we got the ABA power rankings. This is what they've got out for the preseason. So Chicago Fury at the top, not surprising at all. Obviously, defending champions, undefeated last season. Silicon Valley Panthers, a team that we've seen in the top four, I think, the past two seasons. Same with, so they're up there as well. Same with the Fury, obviously. So top two. Austin Bats, I believe, went undefeated all the way through until the final four. And then when they got knocked out in that, they may have actually played against the Fury in the championship. I'll have to double check that. I forget if it was the Fury or, against the Panthers or the Bats. I think the Bats may have been in the championship as well. Buffalo Extreme, another very competitive team over the past few seasons we've seen. Binghamton Bulldogs right up there with them, and they're kind of division rivals there. Always fun matchups there. Guy Levy Legends, a team that also was towards the top of the power rankings last season. But we jumped down, skimmed through here, see some of the teams we played. We didn't play the 402 Elite, but they were in the same games as the Fury as the uh, divisional round. I think went to the regional round. They lost the matchup there. Nashville Aces, again, that's a team, like I said, always in that contention for the power rankings. They're number 11 to start off the season, so somebody definitely to keep an eye on there. Indiana Lions, a team we're familiar with as well, at 13. A lot of changes there with the Lions, though, so that'll be a team to keep an eye on, I think, to see kind of how things go. And skimming through here, looks like that is all the teams, as far as the teams that we play. Kind of surprised not to see the Kings up there. Kings are always pretty solid, but I think after the first week, we'll see little bit of changes there, and obviously, updates after the first week of games get played. Um, and then I got to shout out the local team for me, where I'm from, Central PA Kings, obviously there. So we've got that. That's your top 25 to start off the season. Um, so we've got a couple of games in those power rankings, or maybe one game, I guess. 'Cause the Inferno didn't stay in those power rankings. It looks like. So yeah, just the Aces. It looks like as far as the teams we got on the schedule for this season right now. But obviously, like I said, most likely we'll get some changes after the first week or so. Um, but that's kind of your refresher with the Instigators. We'll have some more news and events and stuff coming up here. Obviously, less than a month now until that opening weekend, November 1st. That is what, like just a few weeks away. One, two, three. Yeah, we are 3 weeks away from that. A month away from the home opener. Um, so a lot of stuff coming up here in the near future, and lots to be excited for. Again, get your season tickets if you haven't already. I hope to see you out there at those games as often as I can. Um, but we are looking forward to that. Um, and then just had a little bit of a little. I mean, this is a little off topic, but it's still Instigators related. So if you remember, we had been on the race car a few times this year for Brayton Laster in the Arkham Nard series. He just finished up his season. The ARCA season wrapped up last weekend. And he actually threw us on the bumper for that final race there. You can see us on the both sides right next to the rookie stripes, which is pretty cool. You got the Instigators logo, and you got in the middle there Big Fish Barbecue, which we'll talk about that just in a little bit. With the NASCAR game that just came out, they're one of the sponsors in that game that you can put on the cars, which is pretty cool. But you got your Instigators logo on there as well in the bumper. And obviously, I just wanted to point that out. Say it's been awesome working with him this year. Hopefully, we can continue to work with him in the future, and hopefully get our logo on some more race cars. But what that leads me to is there was a pre-order that was dropped just recently. So we'll share it on like the big legit site. The one that does all the NASCAR diecast and collectibles and all that type of stuff, the toy cars and whatnot. So if you haven't already seen it, we have our logo on a race car that you can pre-order. This is going to be a toy car, a 164 diecast, so like a smaller diecast. But you see there, you can see the zoom right there. We got our Instigators logo. That was the fan voted logo design and area to put on the vehicle. This was on the car that we had that he had raced at IRP, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. So this was our local race. This was the sponsor logo, all that type of stuff that the fans decided. So this is awesome. I mean, it's a kind of a crazy thing to see that you can have your very own little toy car with an Instigators logo on it. So not something I think we really planned on. It was kind of something that he mentioned could be a possibility, and when he said that, it was well, that'd be cool, So and wound up working, but Lionel, they're like the official NASCAR diecast provider, so that's really cool. And pre-orders are up, so just a heads up if you do pre-order, it looks like the ETA right now is towards the end of May. But get those pre-orders in. That way, we can make sure that you get yours because they are limited edition, and they do have to hit a minimum pre-order amount, which I don't think should be an issue, but just better to get your order in ahead of time, anyways. But you can obviously order from Lionel, and we'll jump over to the other site. You can also order it directly from Brayton's site, his from him himself. And if you do that, it's pretty cool what you can get. So he's got that promo code up there, pizza. He is the pizza man. If you did not know that, for $5 off 30 or more. He's got some pretty cool merchandise on here. And if you go through here, I think obviously there's the IRP car. We were on that car a few times this year. I think this shirt, if you look at it, the Michigan shirt as well, you can kind of see a little Instigators logo. We were on the hood there, but you can kind of see it there. Anyways, if you go back to that main page, he's got the diecast on there, so you can order it through him. But there's an option to get it autographed, so you can get that autographed version from him just for a little bit more, and have the autographed version, which I think is totally worth it. And if you buy it from him, all orders through his site, you'll also get a special hero card. It's like a little postcard with your purchase as well. So if you take me at my word, I would order it from his site. You get that autographed version. You get the special card with it as well. Um, so pretty cool to see, and obviously you see right there as well. You can see the Instigators logo right there. So pretty cool. Not something we really thought would happen, but was something that came together. So that's cool to see. The other thing in relation to that is I mentioned the NASCAR game that came out. So they just released that game today. What is it? Pre-order, early access, whatever it was today. The official release date, I think, is Monday or something like that. But you can play the game now if you have the pre-access. But they got the drivers in the game. He is right here, Brayton Laster, one of the drivers in the game. So that base paint scheme, again, this is the base paint scheme, not the exact paint scheme that was at IRP. This is the base paint scheme that was at the IRP race, is the one in the video game. So you can quite literally race as that car in the video game. It is not the one from IRP. I already talked with him on this. This was scanned back in like March. Obviously, the IRP race was much later than that. So the Instigators logo is not on the car in the video game. But like I said, that big fish logo that we see in on the back bumper, that is in the game. But that doesn't mean there's no chance we'd be in the game in the future. So obviously, that is something we've talked about. And if there is an opportunity in the future to be put in this game or subsequent games, hopefully we can get that hammered out and taken care of ahead of time. But obviously, something that I think both parties, him and us, would love to do and have the Instigators in a video game as well. Again, we didn't expect to be on the diecast car, so if we could somehow manage to luck our way into a video game, I think that would be pretty cool. So that's just a little tidbit of info there. The other thing, I don't know if we actually made a post about this. Now that I think about it, not only do we have the instigators here at the Apex Athletic Collective, we also have, a baseball team. We are minority owners of the Oakland Ballers. Last time I think we left off, we were talking about them in the championship series. So let's jump to their website and see what it looks like now. Uh, yeah, so they had a winner takes all on the 21st. Maybe we did have a stream after that or during that. I don't remember. It's a couple weeks ago. I don't know. But anyways, the Oakland Ballers are your 2025 Pioneer League champions. So in their second season in the Pioneer League, the Oakland Ballers won the championship and are the top team in the Pioneer League. So best record, obviously, throughout the season. You see their overall standings, 73 wins on the year. Um, pretty far ahead, nine game lead there. Um, yeah, that is a full standings. And that first half is what locked them into the playoffs. I guess it just does overall at this point. But the first half is what locked them into the playoffs, having the best record. And then obviously they carried that throughout the whole season into the playoffs, into the championship, and got crowned as the Pioneer League champions for your 2025 season. So congratulations to the Ballers. Obviously, we're looking forward to the next season. Hopefully they can defend that. But that is technically, I guess, our second. Depends how technical you want to get. Second championship for the AAC. Technically, we did have the ABA Gold Cup championship with the Instigators. So if you count that as one of our championships, and then we're, like I said, very small percentage minority owners with the Ballers. So technically, that would be a second championship. So I don't think we have the hardware for that one, but we have that belt for the ABA Gold Cup or the IBL Gold Cup, not the ABA, IBL Gold Cup from last summer. So fun news for the Apex Athletic Collective. But that is pretty much all the news we got for tonight. Again, we're just catching up on things at this point, but we'll have some more info. Obviously, less than a month until the season kicks off. A month until the home game, the home opener. Um, but yeah, man, my schedule. I got to see how that plays out. That's gonna be fun. November 8th. That is the home opener against the Ohio Kings. Um, yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So. But we're really looking forward to that. Um, I think we always have great turnouts, especially for that home opener game. Really, really excited for that. But probably going to wind up just driving straight from the film shoot to the game. So that'll be really interesting. Um, but I'll have that camera. We'll get some footage and some clips and stuff. It'll be a fun little segment that I can throw together for that. But again, we'll get back on track, I should say. Myself especially, getting back, having that social media going and rolling into the season. So we've got that stuff coming up here. Really excited for that. I know you guys are too. Thank you again for everyone who is a Patreon member. You get that exclusive access. Like I said, that website info, you could have got that a little bit ahead of time and got your own preview and go to explore yourself if you are a Patreon member. And if you're not, go to patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective and you can become a Patreon member today. Keep in mind, you're going to have that Patreon access for the live streaming of the games as we go into the season. So just a heads up on that. Obviously that's one of the perks of having that. And then obviously, if you're a fan voter tier or higher, you get some exclusive fan votes that carry a weight the same as the owners do when it comes to ownership level decisions. Um, so we got that. Obviously, shout out again if you want some Jitterless Energy. Go and to get yourself some W. Go to W.GG. Use the code Apex Athletics for 10% off on your order. You can get that sampler pack. That's what I just ordered. Um, Next week I'll have to get the shaker out and show you guys. But get yourself some energy drinks, mix from Dubby. Really helps when you have those 3 a.m. shifts, especially now with my new schedule. If I got a 7:30 to 3 a.m., so that's a fun one. 7:30 a.m. I should clarify there. Um, Not saying that it's likely for that, but that is a possibility for me. 7:30 a.m. to 3 a.m. Um, so fun. But that's why we got Dubby for Jitterless Energy. Anyways, we've got the schedule. We got the schedule out. Check that out. Get your season tickets while you still can for that discounted price of $49.99. You can scan that QR code, go back on our socials, scan it through there. Buy that. Again, that's only going to be for a short amount of time left because our season is kicking off here soon. Um, but look forward to catching up with you guys again next week. Again, we'll be back on track Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Instigate Success. This has been episode 104. We'll be back next week for 105. So we will see you guys then. But until then, as always, be great and instigate.